Berserk 386 is released, and I'm really happy with how the story's going after last chapter. So we start off with a picture of Griffith stretching out his hand. Looks very cool. You have feathers surrounding him. It's interesting to note that his nails are kind of like talons. I think it's potentially because of his status as a Godhand member that his body has changed. It could just be a visual thing, though. I don't think it's a visual bug. We also see Zod flying around in the background, so I wonder what that kind of indicates. Might be indicated later in the chapter. So the first panel opens up with Casca in dire straits, and I'm wondering how she got out again and why specifically she's wandering around. You see Griffith in the background, standing near the astral tree, and then we get to see Shirke and the fact that she was able to travel to Falconia. It's interesting to note that she, despite not liking Griffith, really is enamored with Falconia and astounded by how beautiful it is. And then we get to see Sonya noticing Shirke. I think it really just is meant to illustrate how powerful she is, because most people just don't take her seriously because she's kind of whiny. But Mule is also able to notice her, but he noticed her as a flock of birds. It's also likely a callback to the fact that Sonya and Shirke were bird friends. Shirke's the owl and Sonya's the shrike. But that's also very confusing because Sonya's now upset by the fact that Shirke's here and when she originally liked her. So Mule and Sonya go back and report to Griffith. That drawing of Griffith in front of the world tree is peak, you know? And they talk about how the conflicts outside of Falconia and how people are not wanting to go, and Griffith is not bothered by it at all. And Sonya is fully believing in Griffith. And I don't know about anyone else, but I just find her character so annoying. But, like, whatever. Then Sonya and Mule notice Casca, and what's really intriguing is that Sonya is familiar with Casca at a certain level. And the question is, how? Did Griffith already tell her about her? Does her clairvoyance give her that info? How does she know? So Griffith then feels the resonance within Guts and gets his power from the last chapter. Now, mechanistically, how was he able to? Was it from the connection from Guts being a sacrifice? Is it his power as a Godhand member, or is it through their mutual connection of the Moonlight Boy? Or is it something else? And so then Griffith starts talking to Casca and starts heading toward Casca. And I think it's probably due to like his possessiveness, once again trying to reassert his control and power over her. But it could be the impact of the Moonlight Boy. It's not mutually exclusive. Like, the Moonlight Boy could be trying to be close to his mother, and Griffith could be trying to exert control over her. So then the God Hand appears, and Griffith protects Casca with his cape. And seemingly the reason why he does this is because of the Moonlight Boy's influence on him, or his possessiveness. Once again, not mutually exclusive. And the God Hand makes fun of him and says that his dreams are like the antics of a child, which is really interesting. They specifically use this because if you think about it, if we're saying that Griffith is influenced by the Moonlight Boy, it could be that the Moonlight Boy is awakening Griffith's inner child, right? The Moonlight Boy is a child, and Griffith's childlike dream was to rule a kingdom. And what's so interesting is that, in a sort of sense, right now, Griffith is also a defier of causality because he's denying the Godhand and not going along with their plan. That's what 385 could have been talking about with Griffith and Guts being equal. And it's not about the fact that they are both astral and physical beings. It's about the fact that they can both fight causality, potentially. So then Griffith dispels the Godhand, and then afterwards, as they leave, they make fun of him and say that he's kind of in his own prison. Overall, this chapter was absolutely insane. Definitely an S tier chapter, and it's got me asking so many questions. It definitely reopens the story after the last chapter, which had me afraid that it was going to be an anticlimactic ending. We have Griffith being pushed on all directions, the side of geopolitics, the Kushans, and from other people. You have Griffith, obviously, with his conflict with Guts. It's interesting here. He kind of views Guts as finally awakening, almost like an equal in this chapter, potentially. And lastly, we have the looming conflict of Griffith with the Godhand, which is something I was not expecting. It brings up the questions of, are Guts and Griffith potentially going to team up? Which is absolutely crazy to think about, but and part of me is saying there's no way that would ever happen, and there's no way Guts would accept that. But at this point, who knows? Like, this chapter was absolutely insane, and I really enjoyed it. And you know, after last chapter, I was kind of hesitant about the way that the story's direction was heading, because I thought, oh, Guts got magic power up, he's equal in terms of Griffith now, and now him and Griffith are just gonna fight and story's over, woohoo! But like, it really seems that this chapter is probably what Miura would have wanted. You know what I mean? Like, this writing is on caliber with Miura. Not obviously, nothing's going to be exactly like Miura would have had it, but this really has given me hope for more of the series. Hey, if you like this video, I'm building an app for a manga reader. On it, you're going to be able to ask questions in the community and see questions. Questions are going to be algorithmically determined to be the best question for you. So if you like questions on symbolism, if you like questions on character motivations, if you like opinion questions, theories, they're all going to be on there. You can either choose to skip questions, see answers, or answer a question yourself. If you choose to see answers or answer a question, AI is going to bucket how people respond into certain groups. Like 33% of people think this way, 33% of people think this way, etc. If this seems like something interesting to you, link to it is in my description.